Hello. Welcome. It is your mom of three. Headed back to NYC, and I'm back with another video. Yay! Hello, and welcome. It's awesome to have you. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. My name is Taneza. I am the mother of three they are incredible children living in the heart of New York City. I also have a YouTube family, and we call that family our tribe. I would love for you to join my tribe. All you gotta do is hit that button down below. Which one? The one that says subscribe. To all my A1 Day ones, I appreciate you all so much. You guys know I heart you. Please make sure that you have turned your post notifications on so that you do not miss any of my videos. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Tribe, today I will be reviewing Married at First Sight, the UK. We've crossed the waters. We've crossed the seas. It's the UK Married at First Sight, season 7, and it's actually episode 7. So let's just jump into it. So all of the couples have returned from their honeymoons. You know, one couple went to Mauritius, one couple went to Bavaria, one couple went to Mexico. They went to all different places, which is different than the US Married at First Sight, where in past seasons, all of the couples go to the same honeymoon resort. So this is the first time that all the couples have met each other. It opens up with Laura and Richie the rock star. That's what I'm gonna call him. He said he used to be in a band. I think he thinks he still is. Richie the rock star and Laura. Richie tells Laura this is gonna be the very first dinner party he's ever been to. And Laura's like, wait, what? Do you have any friends? He says, no. What did I tell you guys? At the wedding, he had like 13 seats. Well, 2 were his parents. I told you guys, this is a 51-year-old man that's never been in love, never been in a relationship, and lives with his parents. No judgment zone here. All I'm saying is that I don't think he was lying when he answered her question with a no. I have my notes, LOL. Adrian is meeting everyone for the first time because he did not attend, I guess, what we consider a bachelor party. They call a stag party. But this is actually Adrian's first time, like I mentioned, meeting anyone because he did not go to the stag party. All right, we have an issue already. I mean, from the very beginning, Whitney has a bad attitude, and she and Duca are talking before they enter into the dinner, She is worried that Duca will be quote-unquote Perky Pete in front of others. All right, so PJ and Jess are the first couple. What was funny to me was that they're being watched. So the experts that match them are all watching them interact, their body language at the dinner party, trying to get a sense and a gauge of where they are and how the honeymoon went. So PJ and Jess, first couple that enters where the dinner's going to be, they're obviously friend zoned, and they do seem uncomfortable. The expert says it was uncomfortable for them to even watch the two of those interact together. Thomas and Adrian, they actually enter the dinner with their arms linked. They sit down, and Thomas asks Jess, are you happy? And according to the experts, she was dishonest because of 3 different things. 1, she had a pause before she answered. 2, her voice went up an entire octave. She's like, yeah? And then 3, she raised her shoulders at the same time. So her body language, the gauge of her voice, and her delay in the answer all lean towards no, she is not happy. April and George enter. Thomas is in love with George. Thomas could not stop saying how handsome he was. Thomas could not stop saying how handsome he was. Shanita and Jordan enter. And in my opinion, they are the couple that is the happiest at this point in the relationship. But they really didn't even talk much at all on the show, at least this episode. But their body language, according to the experts, he has his hand on her back. Body language was translated into meaning, I'm here for you. And it's super cute the way Jordan introduces his wife to everyone, and they seem the most naturally at ease with each other, if you ask Taneza's opinion. Richie and Laura. So when Richie and Laura enter, remember, Richie and Laura is a divorcee with 2 grown sons who works at Five Guys Burgers, and Richie is the rock star. When they walk in, George could not run into Richie's arms fast enough. You guys, George is a grown man. George was married for like 12 years, has 4 kids. When Richie entered that door, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. He was racing himself. So he runs and he gives Richie this huge hug, and he's like, I can't wait to talk to you. George runs to hug him, LOL. He could not wait to tell him about April's honeymoon kiss. Not to him. Richie reassures him that him being angry about it is natural, and that he too would feel the same way if he had walked in on his new bride kissing someone else in a hot tub. According to Richie, he too would be irate, were his exact words. Adrian joins them, George and Richie. They're talking on this little couch, and he immediately, literally, Adrian walks up and sits down, and George immediately spills the beans. And I guarantee you 110%, George and April did not discuss whether they planned to disclose what happened at the dinner. I believe they talked it out at the end of the honeymoon and they left it there, but apparently they did not. Adrian makes the point that maybe April thought that George may have liked that, the whole girl on girl, but it obviously hurts George in the fact that his ex-wife was not faithful to him. He has, what's the word for it? He may have been triggered. He may have been triggered due to past trauma. Whitney and Duca, worst entrance ever. It was the worst entrance ever. They did not even enter like friends. They were like, they did not even enter together. Like, really, they were not even like side by side. They weren't. They were obviously, they obviously are not getting along. It seems as though something has happened. They've had some kind of argument. They are not even friends. They don't even seem like they're friends. Keisha and Kwame, when they enter, everyone says they look like celebrities. Part of that is because Keisha's on sunglasses. And as Thomas notes, they're inside and there is no sun. But they look great. They look great when they come in. They really do. They're a handsome, handsome couple. Yet, when they sit down and start chatting with their compadres, why does Kwame go get a drink for himself and sit down? And Keisha's like, really? Like, he didn't even consider her. I was like, rude. And so she tries to make light of it, and she goes to get a beer, and he's like, you shouldn't be drinking that. That's not dignified. And she's like, well, you didn't get me anything. So there's a little tension that I did not see in the honeymoon that they seemed to have with each other. But he was just being rude. I mean, honestly, Kwame was being rude. Zoe enters, right? Da-da-da-da. But there is no Jenna. And everyone's like, where's Jenna? Where's Jenna? Where's Jenna? Are you guys getting along? Are you guys still together? It turns out that Jenna tested positive for corona. And so she was not going to be joining them at the dinner. Jess said that she's annoyed that everyone is, quote, loved up. But why? Why does that annoy you, Jess? You should be happy for your friends. Side eye to you, Jess. Duca gets up and toasts. Whitney is rolling her eyes. The minute he stands up, the eye rolling continues and gets worse. He toasts to love and fun. Whitney, I put in my notes, is disgusted by Duca. She's not even like annoyed or, no, she's disgusted. And it's really hard to watch as a viewer, as me, Taneza, watching the show. It's hard to watch her be so upset with him, but not let him in on what makes you so upset about him. Like, I don't know how she wants to process this, because she's visibly annoyed by him and disgusted by him, yet she's not giving him any tools to change what it is that's upsetting her. I put in my notes, Thomas is loving all the men. He's like, oh my goodness, you all are so lucky. Look at these men. Look at these men. Duca offers to help Whitney because, again, she's visibly upset. We don't know why, but she's upset. Keisha, when Whitney begins to cry at the table, Keisha's like, no, let's step out. So Keisha gets up from the table. She goes and gets Whitney, who's like crying into a tissue, and they go to another room, and Whitney begins to complain to Keisha that Duca is fake. Everyone else has something real. He's fake. That's what's upsetting her so much. So after Keisha calms Whitney down, it was like, go back to the dinner. And so Whitney sits next to Kwame, Keisha's husband, and begins asking him about the honeymoon and how they're doing. And I put my notes, Kwame is great with the non-answer. How was honeymoon? It was bliss. So you guys intimate? It was wonderful. Like, there's no answer though. And Whitney calls Kwame out for it, that he's just laughing and being so general with his answers. Oh, it was Laura. That's who it was, Laura. I asked Kwame if Keisha is his type, and he said he usually goes for someone like Beyonce or Rihanna. And then Laura said, like her, pointing to Whitney, and he said, sort of. And that was the wrong question. That was rude. And secondly, you should have answered that. That was rude. Period, poo. He gets up and he leaves. Laura then spills the beans about the hot tub kiss to Whitney. And it was funny, Whitney's reaction was like, well, maybe Duke is not so bad. While they're eating, all around, they're laughing, joking at the table, Thomas gets up and pulls April to the side. They leave the room, they go outside to this little patio area, and he confronts her about this gossip that's going around the table. He confronts her about a kiss that she had in the hot tub. April starts to cry, and she's trying to explain that her side of the story is that she was playing truth or dare, and the dare was to kiss this girl. And it was not a big deal. They were just playing a game. And she didn't even have to tell George about it, but she did. And so then Thomas said like this, and then Thomas kisses her on the lips right there to show that it was just like a friendly kiss. But she's visibly upset and she's crying. Back in the dinner party, Richie and George are talking about it again. Like, I get it that this happened and this was traumatic for George, and really no one knows what you're going through like the other couples, but you're literally telling that's all you're talking about. That's all he's talking about. All he's talking about for hours. I could tell the time has passed because it was light, now it's dark. And so he and Richie have revisited this topic. And so Richie tells George what April did was disrespectful. Thomas then calls George over. I feel like I'm in high school, guys. I really do. I feel like we're in high school. We're in high school right now. Thomas calls George over. At this point, April is drunk. April's crying. April says that she feels betrayed by George. According to April, it was a game of truth or dare. He would not have even known. I told him about it. He was upset. We worked through it. My notes. George has literally told multiple couples about the honeymoon issue April feels thrown under the bus. And it was like watching the telephone game. Like, we're adults? I'm like, really, Laura, you're 49 years old. Why are you spreading gossip? All right, so how they doing? This is my part of my review where I give you a little insight on where they stand. All right, so PJ and Jess. PJ's holding on for hope. Jess has friend zoned him and continues to talk about the experiment. And I keep wanting to, like, you know, tap her on her shoulder and be like, girl, you're married. This is not just an experiment. You are for real married to him. So I'm holding out hope for them because I think that PJ's a really great guy. But again, Jess has to get over, you know, what he does for a living and not be judgy. And I know it's hard not to compare yourself to other couples, but she has to stop doing that. Thomas and Adrian. I don't know where they stand because I don't know. Because on one minute they're arguing, the next minute they're walking in holding arms. I don't know where they stand. I don't understand their relationship. I don't understand how Thomas can comment on how beautiful all the other men. I just don't get the dynamic. I do not understand it. This episode, they seem to be getting along well. So they seem to be at a good place. Shanita and Jordan. We didn't really get a lot of intel on them this episode, like I mentioned. When they walked in holding each other and he held her back and he's introducing her, they appear to be doing the best out of all the couples, in my opinion, based on what we know about the honeymoon. They seem to be doing the best. They seem to have a real connection. Their families really enjoyed each other at the reception. I feel like they are on the right path. Richie and Laura. This is the issue with this couple. Richie has no idea that Laura's not a big fan of his. And she's not told him and not corrected him. So here he is thinking they had this amazing honeymoon and these romantic moments. Well, in the confessional, Laura's telling the producers, wah, wah, wah. And so I feel a little bit bad for Richie. I need Laura to be honest with him so that he knows where they really stand, because they're not on the same page. That's what Taneza will say. Richie and Laura are not on the same page. George and April. I don't know what the interaction has been since the honeymoon. If this dinner party was any indication, she's not going to be able to trust him now. I get why he went to someone else with the problem. Was the dinner party the right time and place? No and no. No and no. The dinner party was not the right time or place to get advice. And it definitely was not the time or place to tell literally you watch him during the episode literally go to every couple. It seemed like every couple, and told them about what his wife had done on their honeymoon. And then when she's crying about it because Thomas has confronted her, he's like, oh, but they were just playing a game. Like, I need that same energy, George, that you had when you were telling them about what she did. I need that same energy. Put that battery back in your back, because when you were spilling the beans, that was not the side you were on, my friend. That was not the side you were on. So either it's really still upsetting you and you need to work through it, or you should let it go. You should let it go. Because what good is it doing for your relationship? Yeah. I don't see it for them. She doesn't trust you right now. You are both going to have to work through the fact that you don't trust each other. Whitney and Duca, yeah. I don't even know why she showed up. She's so over Duca. She thinks he's so fake. But again, she's telling the producers this. She's telling Keisha this. Is she telling Duca this? Duca, I feel bad for Duca. He has no idea why she's got such a bad attitude. He has no idea. So I think that it would help her and be a huge benefit to him if you were to really tell him what's upsetting you, Whitney, because you just having a bad attitude is very 8th grade of you, and we're grown. Keisha and Kwame. At this point, Kwame went from being not nice to like disrespectful. He was disrespectful to Keisha. He was rude to her. He was disrespectful to her. He definitely is a person that wants to put on the front that everything is perfect, we're all good. He's definitely that personality about presentation and what others may think of him. But he was downright rude to her, and I don't like it. That's not kind. You have 2 daughters of your own, Kwame. You've been married before, Kwame. You should know better, Kwame. Even if you have no instant attraction to her, you can still be kind. You can still be a gentleman, because, well, guess what? You're still her husband. That's all the couples do. Oh yeah, because we did not see Jenna. Jenna had COVID, so Zoe was there, seemed to have a lot of fun, but she was not with her partner. Thomas and Adrian seemed to be doing better. Laura and Richie to get on the same page. I'm here for Shanita and Jordan. They seem genuinely happy. PJ and Jess, I'm holding out hope, because I think PJ's a really, really good guy. Jess really just has to not be Miss Judgy Two Shoes. Laura's got to tell Richie what she really thinks about him, because if not, you're doing him a disservice. Whitney and Duca need individual and couples counseling. And I just really hope that April and George can trust each other, find a way to trust each other, because that's what it's gonna take, guys. All right. I hope that you have enjoyed this review. Please make sure you do subscribe to my channel and turn those post notifications on. And guess what? I look forward to seeing you in our next review. Bye for now, tribe.